Hi there, this is Pet Beats. I'm going to be going through another video on this beat I just released on streaming. So I actually made it quite a while ago, towards the end of 2022, but it's been on my radar for a while to try and get it released on streaming because I've always really liked the beat. With it being like one of my favourite instrumentals, I just thought I'd release it. Thought I'd do this video going through it because it's quite a unique beat. It doesn't really sound like Melodies, so yeah, I thought it'd be a great idea to go through it. So when I was making it, I was definitely going for like the pierre sound, so that sounds like this. So yeah, that's the core of the beat, like the hook and the verse, a little bit there. So I'll just start going through the melodies. So you'll see all of the sounds I've used in this are from this mini synth, which I completely forgot about, and I think I might have only used it in this beat. It's definitely something I'm going to go back to now and try and use a lot more in my beats, because the sound in this beat, they just sound really clean with a bit of mixing, of course. But yeah, let's just go through this first sound. So it's just this keys harp preset. I definitely knew I wanted like some like sort of like keys, but like a little bit different, because you know Pierre uses a lot of like synths and stuff like that. So yeah, this just sounds like this. So it actually kind of sounds like a telephone, like an old telephone in a way. And I didn't realise this, but the counter melody is just in a higher octave of that sound. So yeah, the chords here, they're a bit strange. I remember looking up a tutorial video of what type of chords Pierre uses, so it's these like really spaced out. But yeah, it's just like a very simple, catchy melody, and using the right sounds. That's what you have to do to get a good Pierre beat. So that first sound, so it's got this EQ on, taking some lows out, and we've got some reverb on it. This is definitely a good reverb plugin. I don't use enough anymore, but it's just a whole preset. Not too much on it, because with it being a key sound, I didn't want to make it too spacey. And then just some RC20 just to brighten it out a lot, so now it sounds like this. So yeah, just smoothing it out a lot more basically, from that rough low end it had in the middle. And because I had that counter melody in the top here, I've got basically, I think it's the same one, just copied into a different preset. So this one's a bass preset actually, for like a synth bass, so down in the 4th octave, be like a very like 8-bitty bass. But yeah, for whatever reason, in this higher octave it sounds really nice. It complements that telephone-y sounding keys really nicely, because it's sort of a similar sound, so that just sounds like this. Yeah, it's just basically just repeat, and then add like a little something different in the next bar. So this has just got an EQ on it, a weird one mind you, but just taking all of that low end out, so it's also being raised here in like the upper 5Ks, so you can really hear it in the higher frequencies. And then next we got this flute. So it's actually a bass E piano, but yeah, it does sound like an E piano if you got a different one up. It does sound like one, but in this higher octave, it's really got like that tremolo effect on it. So I just thought it sounded like a flute. This is sort of following on from these chords that we made earlier, these simple chords. And what you want to do with like a lead sounding or like flute sounding thing, if you want to add it on, you just want to make sure you get like this wave going on. So it's like going up and down. Just like another idea for like another melody pattern basically. And all it's doing really is just following those chord notes in that chord, so that just sounds like this. So yeah, this has got an EQ, taking some of the mid-lows out, and then really boosting the high end on it, because it's quite a high-pitched sound, so I wanted to make sure that could come through. And then we've got some kickstart on it, just a very tiny bit, but you'll hear when I compare them that it does actually have an effect. It's sort of like ducking it, so that those lower sounds can come through as well. Before it sounds like this. You can really hear that low end still in there, but now you can kind of hear it pulsing a little bit there, so it's like like that EDM effect, but it's very subtle, and when it's placed with everything else, like you can barely notice it, but it definitely is still having an effect. So we'll just preview those melodies together, so that sounds like this. So I think, like, with it being so simple, I did try and add a lot more onto it. So there's also this lead sound that I'll go through next, but you can see here there's like another keys, some Rhodes, and another 2 pads that I was trying to see if they worked or not. It is kind of time consuming when you get to the stage and you've got like 4 different melodies, but it's best to experiment as much as possible, like with like maybe 5 or 6 sounds, just so you know you're getting the right type of sounds together. Because we've got like a flute, we've got a piano, and then got, well, this isn't even a flute, it's a bass, and you know, it's just using the best combination of sounds really. I'd say that's the #1 thing. So it's good to have extra patterns. It doesn't matter if you don't end up using them, you can always use them for something else if you really want. But yeah, anyway, next we've got this lead sound. It's doing, like I was saying with the lead type of flute sound earlier, it's doing this wave pattern again, but almost completely different notes, just like with extra ones in there. So that sounds like this. So with it being like a much different sound to the flute, it's got like a different pattern technically, with some extra notes in there just to give it a different swing to it, I guess that would be the word, than just like the flute pattern copy and pasted on top of it. But I think I remember it took me a while to get to this sound, because you got to go through like the different octaves with these type of sounds and see which one sounds the best. But yeah, this is just like a saw lead, and it sounded really good with everything else. So when I was arranging it, I just wanted to keep that for like one part of the song, not all the way through, just so it drops into it nicely. So this has got, basically it's just got an EQ on it, and boosted a bit of this like mid-low end where the 808's not hitting and not much else is, so it's really standing out in that low octave range here. So now it sounds like this. So yeah, now with all of those other sounds, that sounds like this. So yeah, really like wavy now, that's what I call it. I knew, because I'd gone out from the start of like wanting it to be a pierre, I knew that I just needed some like simple like strap drums, and it was just about using the correct ones and not really overdoing it. So we just got a clap here made up of 2 different claps, so got this clap and this one. So this is almost like a snare, it's just adding a bit more like grittiness to the bottom of this sounds of this. Just hitting on every three. Yeah, and this has got some reverb on it to give it a lot more space, and just taking some of that low end out, not too much of it. And a clipper, just to give it a bit more punch. And then next we got some snares, so we got this snare and this one. You know, some very trap sounding snares, so it's sort of bouncing off each other really. You might not even like realise at the start that they're different snares because they do sound very similar, but you see even the waveforms are similar, but it's just nice to have them bouncing off of each other and with the clap. And then the other main drum we've got is just a hi-hat, so it's just a two-step. But yeah, basically the two-step here, I've altered every other note, so it's just like ticking up and down basically with the velocity, and that's how you can get like a different bounce to a two-step. This is a similar two-step, but the notes are much lower, so it's almost a completely different bounce really. And you see I got rid of the rolls in this. With the velocity being much lower down now, it's sort of creating this like panned effect, even though I checked when I first opened the project, but nothing's panned. But I think when I did that in the hook, it sounded really cool with this, with the lead. So yeah, it just worked really nicely. Yeah, next I'll go through the basses. Yeah, I tried like spins and a few other 808s, but I just stuck with the Zay on this one. Definitely like a regular Pierre one. It's just very simple, and it's basically just hitting on the notes of the chord. So you see E, C, E. This pattern sounds like this. So yeah, it's very punchy sound already. Yeah, it's not got anything on it. It just sounded good as it was. Anyway, on to the next bass. With I just wanted something to like accent on that lead that gets added in. So I managed to find this massive like 808. Just absolutely big. When it drops in, you'll have heard a minute ago, it just sounds really good with that lead. Yeah, it fits really nicely along with that lead. It's actually not there that much, but you'll definitely like hear its presence because it's such a massive sound. And that's just, you know, it's hitting where those 808s were hitting. Then we've got some distortion on there. I love adding like little bits of distortion on 808s just to amplify some of the distortion that's already there in like the mid-range. And then we've got some classic gross beat side chaining on, and then we've got a soft clipper on, giving it a lot of punch. Here we've got some distortion on the lead sound as well. So before it sounds like this, and then after it's like really in your face now compared to what it was. So that's the main core of the beat. So yeah, that's the main portion of the beat. But I don't know, for some reason I didn't want to stop there, and we've got all these extra sounds to go through. So I always love when open hats hit on like 808s and stuff. So in this position where it was, so it's just with these extra little elements, it's all about like the right placement. So this really could only go in this position basically. Next sound, we've got this rim, so that sounds like this. And then we've got all these percs, so we've got this laser that you'll hear in the background. I tried some other ones as well, but most of the other sounds are just effects and stuff. So we've got this other perc as well, this knock perc, so it's very signature to like plug music. So lastly, before I go through the intro, because that's like the start of the beat, we've just got some effects. So we've got this whoosh and then a crash. Then we've got the signature flatbed restyle box. I really like its placement, like it leads just before the main drop here. So next we got this little riser. So yeah, finally let's go through this intro. So I think what I did, I exported out the first few melodies. Oh no, it's like the whole beat. Yeah, so I slowed it down by half, and then I put all these different gross beat presets on. So we got a double speed, double in the half speed, and then another one, and then we've got a fade out, and then we've got that final off preset. So yeah, that sounds like this. Yeah, it's starting to speed up here. Yeah, so anyways, if you want to check out the beat in full, it's on all streaming platforms, so I'll make sure to link that throughout the video. You can go stream it anywhere you want, as well as obviously the beat's still available if you wanted to check into it. But that's been it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, comment, and I'll see you in the next video.